For 6 long winters, a man named Elias lived alone in the cold embrace of the mountains. Once, he had been a blacksmith in a bustling village, but tragedy had stolen everything he loved. His wife had died in childbirth, and his newborn daughter had lived only a few hours. Unable to face the noise of the world, Elias fled deep into the wilderness, building a cabin far above the tree-line. The silence of snow and the howl of wolves became his only companions. He spoke to no one, not even himself, and the villagers below soon forgot his name, calling him only the Mountain Man. The 6th winter was the hardest yet. Food was scarce, storms fell heavier than before, and loneliness pressed like ice against Elias's heart. One night, as he sat by the crackling fire, he thought he heard something strange: footsteps outside. At first, he dismissed it as his imagination. But then came a knock on his cabin door. Elias froze. No one had climbed this far in years. When Elias opened the door, a girl no older than 16 collapsed at his feet. Her face was pale, lips trembling from the cold. "Please, help me," she whispered, her voice breaking. She had no coat, no food, and her eyes carried the terror of someone being hunted. Elias had lived 6 years without speaking to another soul, but something inside him stirred. He could not turn her away. Elias carried the girl inside, wrapping her in furs and setting broth over the fire. She told him her name was Marin. She had fled from men who wanted to force her into marriage after her parents' deaths. For days she had wandered, chased, until finally her legs gave out near his cabin. Elias listened silently, his jaw tight. He had not planned to care for anyone again. Yet here she was. For weeks, Elias tended to Marin. Slowly, his silence cracked. He asked her questions in a voice unused for years, rough as gravel. She answered with honesty and courage, though tears sometimes fell. Marin began to call him Old Bear, for he growled more than he spoke, but she smiled when she said it. Something in Elias's chest warmed each time. For weeks, Elias tended to Marin. Slowly, his silence cracked. He asked her questions in a voice unused for years, rough as gravel. She answered with honesty and courage, though tears sometimes fell. Marin began to call him Old Bear, for he growled more than he spoke, but she smiled when she said it. Something in Elias's chest warmed each time. One evening, Marin spotted figures moving in the forest below. The men who hunted her had not given up. Fear surged in her, but Elias only tightened his grip on the axe he had forged long ago. He had sworn never to fight again, never to invite bloodshed into his life. Yet the thought of losing this girl, after fate had dropped her into his care, made his hands tremble with rage. When the men reached his cabin, demanding Marin be handed over, Elias stood like a mountain himself. His voice, booming after years of silence, told them, "She stays." The men laughed.